everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. And happy Tuesday to everybody in the chat as you guys roll in here. OMG, look at it already. Internet. Look at it already. Am I stuttering, you guys? Is the internet stuttering? Let me know in the chat. Like, we just got here. What's going on, you guys? What's going on in chat? What's going on in your car? What's going on, Sugar Shane? What's going on, my Quave? Yes. What's going on? What's going on, Reese from Philly? What's going on, Danny? Is it stuttering, you guys? Let me know. It's a little skippy. Yeah, it just started. Like, I don't know what that is. And it's crazy because I pay so much for the internet. I think it's starting to clear up a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Starting to get some bars. I'm starting to see it. All right. What's going on next phase? What's going on, Mandy? What's going on, OG Hot Rod? How was you guys this weekend? How was y'all's weekend? Mine was very eventful. Okay. So I went to Detroit this weekend. All right. It's not that far from DC. Well, on the plane anyway. It's not that far. It's about an hour, maybe an hour, 10 minutes on the plane. I went to Detroit. Did after I was there, did some content with Anton Daniels. And I was just like, I couldn't believe what happened to me on the way back because I was delayed. Okay. As you guys know, I'm not TSA. The air traffic control. The air traffic control people are short. All right. They don't have enough air traffic control people, especially since now we're not doing DEI hires and just putting anybody there that hasn't, had the proper training and certification. So they're short. So, it's all a mess up there and all that good stuff. However, what happened to me this weekend was I was delayed at the airport coming back because somebody threw up getting off the plane. What's going on, Tyrell? Is it still stuttering? You guys let me know. Yeah. Back to the story. So you guys, somebody went on ahead and threw up. And so from there, we had to wait. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be, a couple of minutes. We waited a whole hour for one person to come and clean this up. I lie to you not, one whole hour. And when I tell you the whole hour we were standing there, like it was in the air, you could smell it, all that good stuff. And it was just sitting there. Nobody came. I know people are cleaning the bathrooms in the airport. And I was just like, oh my God. I was delayed over an hour for throw up because the plane was right there. Like, you can't make this stuff up. All right. And so the guy finally comes. He sprays something. I don't know what it was. Sprays something on, and this is carpet. Sprays something on it and then vacuums it. It took all of 2 minutes. When I tell you, I was just like, what in the heck is going on? All of 2 minutes after we waited an hour and something. 2 minutes. And he just vacuumed it up. I don't even know what the spray stuff was. Maybe it was just something so it won't stink. I don't know. It didn't look like cleaning to me, but I stepped over it, got on the plane because I was over it. Okay. I wanted to go home. All right. But that was my eventful weekend. Okay. So you guys in the comments and in the chat, let me know what you guys did over the weekend, what you had going on. Did you travel? I also did a live stream this weekend, and thank you for everybody that showed up. It was a lot of you guys on Saturday. I was surprised. And because I was traveling so much, I I couldn't do Thursday night, and I couldn't find the time to do it Friday because I was traveling. So Saturday, I was like, I'm gonna do a live stream, and you guys pulled up, so thank you for that. What's going on, Los Away, Tyrone? What's going on, everybody? I see y'all coming in. What's going on, Trace? What's going on, AC Reviews? What's going on? Just up here telling my little quick story. Now, see, your car, you're doing too much. Friday night was fun. We had fun on After Hours. It was fun. It was fun. Friday night was fun. We had a good time. What's going on, Quick Fix? All right, you guys. So we got a lot to get to, okay? So I just want to get to a couple of topics today because I'm telling you right now, between Hunter Biden and everything that's going on with Barack Obama, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be an eventful year, okay? This year is going to go off not without a hitch. Because I'm telling you, the Democrats are going to fight back, and they're not going to fight back with anything genuine. They're just going to make up a whole bunch of lies and things like that. But I'm here for it. I'm here for everybody going to jail. Okay. I'm here for everybody getting brought up to the firing squad. I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. Yep. You guys got it in the chat. So look, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So what I want to start with today is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that is bringing back the Redskins. So I want to talk about bringing back the Redskins because at the end of the day, I am a Washingtonian. I am from Washington, D.C., okay? And when I tell you the Redskins are a staple here, the Redskins are a staple here. I don't know why they let that, those woke people and Obama administration and everybody else, change the name and force them to do what they want them, to do. But hey, it is what it is. So I want to get into this because a lot of people think that the name Redskin is somehow racist. All right. That means they don't know any Native Americans. That means they don't know any natives or indigenous people at all, because the name Redskin is definitely not. And the figurehead that's on, well, the Redskins logo, that actually is a native chief. Okay. And their tribe was getting money for that picture. That's an actual photo. Okay. So just like, Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben and all this other stuff, like, yeah, you let these companies trick y'all out of y'all money because they have been using these logos for a long time, and these families were getting paid. Okay. The Aunt Jemima family said the same thing. What's going on, Kelly? What's going on, Katrina? So I want you guys to go ahead and get into this with me because the Redskins, like I said, is a staple here. And a lot of people just don't know the facts. So let's go ahead and get into this. Here we go.
I don't think the president of the United States of America should be bullying anyone about their name. The business chose the Commanders. And I don't think it's the business of the president of the United States to tell the Commanders or the Indians to change their name or else. But I didn't think it was the business of the president of the United States to tell the Indians and the Redskins to change their names. And the Democrats were insistent it was their business. All Donald Trump is doing is giving them a taste of their own medicine. I didn't like it when the Democrats did it. I don't like it when Donald Trump's doing it. But if you can't see that the Democrats started the precedent, I'm sorry, they started it. Trump's just elevating the precedent and turning it in on them because the left thought they were culturally dominant after George Floyd, and they started doing maximum bully pressure. And now Donald Trump is in the driver's seat in large part because of all the left's bullying. So all I can do is sit back and say, hey, I don't think either side should have done it, but I'm laughing my butt off at Donald Trump turning on you what you thought could not be turned on you because you thought you had maximum cultural clout.
So you guys, that is like a little bit of history behind it, right? Because the Redskins, when I tell you, nobody had a problem with this. Nobody had a problem with this. Now, if you don't know my family's background, my family is an array of different things, okay? I come from two mixed race people, and on my mother's side is Polish and Native American. And my grandmother loved the Redskins, okay? bless her soul. She loved the Redskins, didn't have a problem with it. And I used to tell people this, right? And people used to tell me, oh, it's racist. And I'm like, my grandmother doesn't have a problem with it. And neither did most Native Americans. But they let the left tell them to change it. I hope they do change it back. But let's hear from some Native Americans talking on Fox about the Redskins name change.
We're sick and tired of the intellectual elite at the top of the university towers, like they're all have their own little Hogwarts, telling us what to do with our names. 70 to 90% of Native American Indians, wherever you go, love the name Redskins. They're proud of their heritage. And we don't want it stolen from us. We're sick and tired of the intellectual elite at the top of the university towers, like they're all have their own little Hogwarts, telling us what to do with our names.
And that's what they do. They essentially tell everybody else what they have to do with their name. And here's them speaking more on it.
To see him get involved in something like that is just fantastic for us. I mean, I'd give anything in the world to be able to meet with President Trump from the Redskins side. I mean, I'm a Native American, so I'm a real Redskin and a proud one, and a proud Washington Redskin from the glory days of Joe Gibbs. To see him get involved.
So as you can see, everybody on the Native side, on the DC side, we love that name. We love it. It had absolutely nothing negative to do with degrading anybody. And that's what happens when the woke left gets involved in sports, okay? They don't even watch sports. They have ruined the NFL at this point, okay? And they're ruining basketball because I hear, because that's the only sport I don't watch. I hear they're ruining basketball, and they definitely ruined the WNBA, child, okay? The way they pander with the WNBA, it's ridiculous. So they shouldn't be in sports at all. Like, I can't stand to hear liberals talk about sports. Like Carrie Champion, they got to get her off. They have to get her off a CNN. Okay, I don't watch CNN as it is, but they got to put her back on Disney, ESPN, wherever, because her takes are already horrible as a liberal. Now she comes on there trying to talk sports and talk about the Redskins in a political manner, and it's just awful. It's awful. Okay? Absolutely horrible. So you guys let me know what you think about the Redskins changing their name. Well, the Commanders changing their names back to the Redskins. I don't like the Commanders. I've never called them Commanders. I've never bought a Commanders jersey, and I still have my Redskins jersey, and that's just how it's going to be. I'm not ever buying a Commanders jersey because I don't like it. I don't want it. They could take it back. And that's just the way it is. So you guys let me know what you think about that. All right. Let's go ahead and get into some more topics really quick. But before we do, I want to thank Miss Kelly. Thank you for the 199 super sticker early. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and get into another story really quick before we get into some of our main topics. Let's go ahead and get into this story, which made me like literally want to. When I tell you the DMV area is a liberal area, it's a liberal area. Okay. Everything here in the DMV is under the liberals. Maryland is all Democrats. Okay. Northern Virginia is pretty much liberals. DC, forget about it. Just liberals. And it has been a sanctuary city. Okay. It has been a sanctuary city here in DC. Maryland might as well be a sanctuary state. Everybody in Maryland, if you're a legal immigrant, you get whatever. And then on top of that, Northern Virginia. Okay. Now in Northern Virginia, they had just the other day, a illegal immigrant abduct a child. It just so happens that her parent just happened to catch up with this man. When I tell you this pissed me off, this pissed me off. Watch this story. Here we go.
We're talking about Fairfax County Police say 26-year-old Andres Caceres Haldin is in custody. Police credit their crime center technology for Haldin's arrest over the weekend. Investigators say he was nabbed at an extended day in Chantilly thanks to surveillance video that connected him to a stolen car he apparently used and took before the attempted abduction on Friday morning. We're told this play area is not a drop-off center, and parents and guardians are urged to stay near their children during playtime. The victim, meanwhile, is described as a female toddler who wandered away from the play area. Police say shoppers likely did not notice anything wrong. We're talking about Fairfax County Police say 26-year-old Andres.
So what happened in this story is there's a little play area in this mall where the children can play. Okay. This criminal, okay, decided that he was going to go over to the play area and pick up a child. And it just so happened that the parents happened to catch up with them. And the car that he was driving, okay, with all the monitoring that Virginia does, was able to catch up with him because he had a stolen car. But if it wasn't for the parents, frantically looking for this child, that child would have been gone. I mean, this man was gone in seconds. In seconds. And yes, we do know that it happens with everyday American citizens. However, it's happening a lot more in this area ever since all of these, illegal migrants have come here. We have a bad MS-13 problem. We have, just when I tell you we have a bad child abduction rate ever since, all of these people have come here. Like, it's just something that they do. I don't understand. Some of them, I don't know what they do down there in El Salvador and all the rest of those, Southern American countries. But when I tell you it's a problem here, it's a problem here. And then the liberals go ahead and protect him. This man he has a long rap sheet out here in Virginia, a long one. Why isn't he deported? Yeah, quick fix, especially in DC. Why isn't he deported? He's not deported because the liberals don't want them deported. Okay, they keep protecting these people. For what? For what? And then when somebody unalives them, then they want to say, oh, what's happening? What are we doing? You want to spend our tax dollars going down to El Salvador for a man that is not from Maryland, okay? When we don't have any money here in Maryland. We're spending our tax dollars doing that. Meanwhile, they're snatching up people's kids. And I don't want to hear that, well, illegal migrants are less likely to commit crimes. No, they're less likely to get reported or report them. Best believe that this area has a high crime rate ever since a lot of them came into this area. Okay? Legal migrants, no problem. They don't do none of this BS. It's just the illegal ones. So you guys get down in the comments and in the chat. Let me know what you think about this story. All right? Because that's here in Fairfax, here in the DMV area. Now, something else I want to get into that's similar to this story is the story about the ICE officer in New York. Now, an ICE officer in New York was shot by another illegal immigrant. And as much as I, commend Mayor Adams for, trying to shake some of his liberal ways, this is some of his fault. Like, a lot of this stuff is some of his fault. Because he allowed these migrants to come. All these sanctuary cities, all this giving up, money so they could stay in the shelters where they were throwing food because they didn't like the way the food tastes. You could take back to El Salvador. But yet we're spending New Yorkers' tax dollars. It's wild. So I want you guys to hear what Mayor Adams had to say about this subject. Okay. Hey, Molly. Here we go.
Migrant and asylum seekers who are bringing violence and really tarnish the reputation of those who come to this country to pursue the American dream. We have to be quick and swift to deal with those who believe they're going to inflict violence, not only on documented New Yorkers, but they are known to commit violence on undocumented New Yorkers. And last night, an off-duty federal officer for U.S. Custom and Border Protection was in Riverside Park when an unexpected situation became a reality. Shortly before midnight last night, the 42-year-old male federal officer was with a friend when two predators on a moped approached. One male dismounted the scooter, displayed a firearm, and approached the two who were just trying to enjoy the city, like so many of us do during a hot evening hour. According to the video, investigators recovered from the scene. It appears that our perpetrator discharged at least 2 shots, striking the officer in his face and forearm. The federal.
So that's what happened. And that was Mayor Adams talking about it. I want you guys to see the video so you can see how malicious this was, okay? Because they were minding their business, and then the illegal migrants roll up on his moped. It's wild. Check this out. So they're sitting down there by the water, right? So now you see them backing up, right? These are the migrants. He gets off. One of the guys gets off. He sees them down there. Boom. So you see the officer kind of doing this because he's hitting the face at this point.
Hey, Jeff, we have one subject outstanding, right? Hey, Fun, I believe the man in the red t-shirt. I believe I just heard that they recovered the injured body, the man in the white t-shirt.
And that right there is the reason why we should not have sanctuary cities. Okay? Both of them have a rap sheet. Both of them are illegals. Both of them came over here from war-torn countries, whatever. When you don't know who's in the country, you don't know what these people are capable of. These people were minding their business. Okay, one of them just happened to be a federal officer that was an ICE officer. If you ask me, this was some type of hit, because how would he know he was going to be down there? This is wild. And now, so now, you know, these ICE officers, now you know why half of them wear masks. Like, this is wild. But yet, you know, you got Karen Bass out here saying, "Oh, well, they're just disappearing people and they're wearing masks and they don't know." Like, ma'am, please. And this is happening to people who are out here risking their lives. Meanwhile, she's out here giving 200, 300, 400, 500 a week to illegal migrants, just like New York was at one point. This is, when I tell you this is all of their faults, this is all of their faults. All of them. Because this is wild. But you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about those stories. Because I just, I just couldn't, I was beside myself when I saw this. Okay? I'm just constantly, when I'm looking at these stories, I see illegal this, illegal that, especially in this area that I'm in, and especially on the East Coast, because the East Coast has a lot of liberal spots. You got Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, DC, Maryland, Virginia, well, some of Virginia, most of Virginia, where it's populated. You got some of North Carolina. Like, you have a lot of Democratic hotspots that are just liberal out of their minds. And they don't care about anything else other than the migrants. I've never seen them go to jails and check on regular folks. You know, jail is jail to me. You in jail, you in jail. But yet, for some reason, the migrants, they have to have great accommodations. Please. So you guys go down in the chat and let me know what you think about that. All right. Let me go ahead and read one of the super chats. And Miss Kelly Karim with the $5 super chat. Thank you. Trump wasn't lying. A lot of these folks are bad hombres. Yes, they are, ma'am. I see, what is it? I see them on those child predator shows too. Yeah, all the time. How to Catch a Predator? Okay. All the hombres be on there. This is why they didn't want what's that movie? Sound of Freedom out and all that other stuff. They didn't like those movies. That's why Joe Biden blocked them. Because it talked about, how a lot of those countries in South America, traffic children, traffic women, do slave labor. How the Democrats are covering up slave labor right now with all that, the marijuana farm and all that good stuff. But I digress. Thank you, Kelly, for the super chat. And I also want to thank Mike That Dude on Cash App and Newlawn on Cash App. Thank you so much for supporting the platform. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we're moving along. Let's get into what I keep calling Obamagate. Now, we talked about it a little bit this weekend. We talked about Barack Obama and everything that was going on with, the Russia hoax. However, Donald Trump decided that he was going to speak about Miss Tulsi's DOJ referral. So Miss Tulsi Gabbard, she decided to have a whole, press weekend talking about, the Russia hoax and how she referred it to the DOJ. Now, hopefully Pam Bondi takes this and goes and arrests somebody. Okay, we can't have this happen again. Okay, you can't have Epstein and Obama get free. Like, you can't do it. It can't happen. So Donald Trump decided to talk about that at the White House. All right. And I want to go ahead and get into that. Here we go.
Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper, the whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room right here. This was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one look, he's guilty. It's not a question. I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. You've seen some pretty rough countries. This man has seen some pretty rough countries, but you've never seen anything like it.
Y'all are wild in the chat, Barry Soto. But that's his name. Yeah. So Donald Trump called out Barack Obama by name, which is a big step. Okay. Because a lot of the times, it's been speculation. It's been this, that, and the third. This time, Donald Trump is calling Barack Obama out by name. Okay. And stating what his administration did. All of them. And I do mean all of them. And so I think this time, maybe some heads will roll. I find it very hard to think that Barack Obama is just going to go down. But we'll see. He doesn't have presidential immunity anymore. However, I just, the fact that Hillary didn't go down the first time, but maybe it's a new day. It's a new day. But I have my reservations. However, I want to get into a little bit of a flashback because this is why I tell you guys I don't like the Golden Girls. I don't watch The View. This is why. They have been doing this propaganda, okay, since 2016 and beyond. Because they allow Hillary Clinton, knowing that she was a liar, knowing that she's lying, to go ahead and say all of this stuff on The View. Like, The View has just been a beacon for a bunch of lies for the Democrat Party. I want you guys to see what Hillary Clinton had to say on the Golden Girls channel and what she had to say about the whole Russia gate and her campaign and Trump's campaign. Watch.
And whether or not there's fire, we need to figure it out. But here, and whether or not there's fire, we need to figure it out. But here is what's important. Put the investigation into Trump, his associates, and everybody else to one side. There is no denying that the Russians interfered in the election. Right. Whether or not they had willing or unwitting help from the Trump team, they interfered, and they did so to help him and hurt me. And they did so to destabilize our democracy, and they have not stopped. I mean, there's been enough public testimony before Congress now by very distinguished, experienced intelligence professionals who all say the same thing. This is a clear and present danger to our country.
Yep. Anytime a liberal white woman with that haircut talks, you ought to not listen, okay? The Ellen haircut, all right, that's what I call the feminist cut. Yeah, you ought to not listen. That woman is lying through her teeth. But yet, The View and the Golden Girls are sitting there. Yeah, yeah, Look at her face. She's not even, look at her. Look at her eye. She's not even, she don't give any eye contact. She's a whole liar. Okay, nobody did anything about her emails. Even when Comey said she did something wrong, they didn't do anything. And that's because Hillary and Clinton, meaning Hillary and her husband, are big fish.
And I think it's important, and I would say this, if the roles were reversed, if I had won the Electoral College and I were in the White House and the intelligence services, I've served with them, I've worked with them, I've read their analysis, both on the Senate Armed Services Committee and as Secretary of State. You know, they don't always get it right, but these are patriotic, hardworking, dedicated men and women. And if they had come to me and told me, you know, we believe that this election was interfered with, we believe that it was influenced, and we believe they are still trying to get into our systems, I would have stopped at nothing. I would have stood up and in front of the country said, even if it advantaged me, I am not going to rest until we know exactly what happened and make sure.
Girl, a whole lie. A whole liar. Even if it advantaged, if it advantaged you, you would have did exactly what Joe Biden did. Okay? You would have did exactly what Joe Biden did. Dominion and all that advantage Joe Biden. And they all ran with it. Okay? Kamala too. There's no way that Kamala only came in within a couple of million votes of Donald Trump. The woman can't put a complete sentence together. Okay? I don't understand why they think we're that dumb. I don't understand. But we all know, especially now, since everything's being released, that these people literally lied. Okay, and Barack Obama was the main one. And it's crazy to me because when I see it online, it isn't, oh, he didn't do it. It's always because, oh, you guys want to just tarnish a black man. I know plenty of black men that serve in government that don't do what Barack Obama did. Okay, and that's whether we're talking about immigration, okay, because Barack Obama started the separation of the families, whether we're talking about Fast and Furious, where he was caught along with Eric Holder, his AG, okay, They both were caught smuggling guns from Mexico all the way up to Chicago. How you think them boys was up there killing themselves? Barack Obama, Fast and Furious. And then when Eric Holder was supposed to go in and talk about it, Barack Obama did a presidential move where he blocked Eric Holder from being subpoenaed. So at the end of the day, all these people are liars. All these people are absolute liars. Loretta Lynch, all of them. All of them. Okay? Susan Rice, all of them. Absolute liars. So now let's get into what some of the current lawmakers are actually saying about Tulsi and everything that's going on with Barack Obama and Obamagate, and if Barack Obama should actually be put in jail. And here's one of my favorites and one of my new favorites, okay? Byron Donalds and Miss Luna. Here we go.
You saw with the report that Tulsi put out. I mean, we're talking about there needs to be criminal prosecution and arrest. You know, lying under oath, putting out a false intelligence report. That's a violation of 18 U.S. Code 1001 that comes with a 7-year prison sentence and up to $250,000 fine. But we're talking about something more nefarious than this. I think that this is a perfect example and reason why there needs to be FISA reform as well. As you know, Maria, that false intelligence report resulted in FISA courts issuing a warrant to illegally surveillance the president of the United States now. And what I can tell you is if we don't stop this, if we don't actually say this will not be tolerated, this is not a Democrat or Republican thing. This is about the health and the sanctity of a constitutional republic. And so there needs to be arrests. This is not partisan. This is simply illegal what they did, and we're simply upholding the law.
I mean, it's just extraordinary. How do you believe they got away with that? Byron, what about that? How was it that this cabal of senior people in the Obama White House was able to convince so many people of this lie when they had no evidence whatsoever of it?
Well, they got away with it because once they leaked these false narratives and false reports, you had big media organizations who just went lock, stock, and barrel, did not fact check, did not go and do the extra work, did not do any due diligence whatsoever. They just followed and towed the company line. And then you have the deep careers in the intelligence community who either they were afraid of being fired or having their clearances revoked, or B, were so concerned about a Donald Trump presidency that they felt it was okay to concoct false information into the American people, into the body politic. So Anna is completely correct. There need to be arrests on this matter. People need to go to jail on this because this is about the republic. This is not about one president. It is about the presidency and the continuation of our country.
Now, I love both of these people, okay? Like Byron, I love Byron, and I had a chance to meet Byron at the Black Conservatives Ball, okay? And that was a fun time. Ms. Luna here, I'm absolutely loving this lady because one, she proved what I had been telling people all along, that Tory Lanez was innocent. Okay. Now, Tory Lanez, of course, you know, you can say what you want. He put himself in that position. Got it. But at the end of the day, that whole thing was a farce. And it came down from every level through what's supposed to be justice. Okay, so from the police department, the LAPD, from, you know, the prosecutors, the judge, everybody's in on this stuff. It's wild. But yet here you have a Republican woman going to bat for Tory Lanez, not a Democrat. Go figure. Okay, they don't like Black people. I keep telling people this, but it is what it is. But this is what members are saying now. They're saying that Barack Obama needs to be locked up. And a lot of the people that assisted in this should be locked up as well. And I agree 100%. Now, of course, this is the conservative perspective. So let's go over and get, unfortunately, the liberal perspective from China News Network. Here we go.
Today, President Trump declared his intent to, quote, go after people for what he claims were attempts to interfere in the 2016 election by claiming that Russia was seeking to influence the result. The president insisted that former President Obama was guilty of crimes for what Trump said was his role in weaponizing intelligence.
The leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? Look, he's guilty. It's not a question. You know, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason.
CNN's Kevin Liptak is at the White House for us. Kevin, it's notable this response came during a question about Ghislaine Maxwell, but can you fact check what the president is suggesting here?
Yeah, and just to underscore, these are very striking comments from the president. You know, he's accusing Barack Obama of sedition. He said he was seditious. He's accusing him of treason. And he says, quote, whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Clearly, the president intent on using some of this information that was released last week by the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, to go after his political rivals, chiefly the former President Barack Obama. And just to step back and describe what Gabbard released, she released information that she says undercut that 2017 intelligence assessment that found that Russia, through a hacking and influence campaign, attempted to influence the result of the 2016 election. She seems to be relying on sort of correspondence that was sent between Obama officials that said that Obama wanted a new assessment into this. And what President Trump seems to be seizing on is the fact that an initial assessment found that Russia was not successful in influencing the results of that election. But both Trump and Gabbard seem to be twisting some of what the intelligence found. You know, the intelligence community found that Russia did attempt to influence votes through things like hacking emails, things like...
This man is an absolute liar. Okay, so Saturday, we read the documents. Okay, they were highlighted and redacted and all that other good stuff. We read the documents. This man is an absolute liar. Like, I'm trying to understand. I'm literally trying to understand how he's allowed to actually say this. Like, the documents are there. Like, you can go online and read the documents yourself. Whether you go to the government websites or whether you go to X, you can read these documents yourself. I don't know what he's talking about. Sitting here talking about, well, you know, that's not what it said. Yes, that's what it says. It literally says that Russia did not interfere. It literally said it. Like, it literally says it. Like, you can't make this stuff up with China News Network. You can't make it up. They just say anything.
Social media campaigns, but it never found that it actually hacked into voting systems and changed votes, even though it attempted to breach some of those systems. But President Trump seems to be using some of this new findings and documents that have been released by his intelligence chief to go very harshly after President Obama. And certainly it has always been true that the Russia investigation that really clouded the first 2 years of his first administration has long been in his head as an attempt to undermine his legitimacy. He has repeatedly called it the Russia hoax. Now the president seems more intent than ever on going after some of the people who he thinks were responsible for it. And just over the weekend, we saw him post quite a striking AI-generated video of President Obama in the Oval Office being arrested by FBI agents. Later, the video depicted Obama sitting in prison in an orange jumpsuit. So very striking imagery, very striking words from President Trump as he tries to use some of this information, one, to go after his rivals, but two, seemingly to try and distract from the Jeffrey Epstein matter. But I think bottom line, when he accuses Obama of treason, when he accused Obama of leading a coup and of being seditious, there's really no evidence in what Gabbard released last week that.
So they can believe the DNI back then. They can believe everybody in the intelligence community then, but they can't believe anybody in the intelligence community now. And even then, there were people that said it was a lie. There were people that actually went and testified in Congress and said it was a lie. What are they talking about? Like, you cannot make it up. They just do not like to give Donald Trump anything. That's how you know it's disingenuous, right? Because, okay, maybe they don't give him this or that. They give him nothing. He gets credit for nothing. He gets blamed for everything. Tyrone, arrest the reporter. Yes, arrest the reporter. I agree. Because he's just sitting up there lying when they have the information, like they have the documentation. They have the actual documentation. And real journalists, which we'll see later, they get fired from their jobs. They get fired for actually doing the research. When you actually do research, you get fired. Meanwhile, these idiots, they get to keep their jobs. Everybody at CNN should have been fired, okay? Abby Phillips, #1, should have been fired. But they don't get fired. They get raises. They get promoted. Like, why do we need to see Jake Tapper? The man lied the entire time. And now he gets to write a book off of it. Nobody wants to read that book. We can see Joe Biden tripping up the steps. We don't need your book to tell us any of that. But this is what the left is saying about the whole Barack Obama, or Obamagate, as I call it, Obamagate that Donald Trump is talking about, and the referral to the DOJ by DNI Tosi to say to Donald Trump and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, yeah, you guys need to go ahead and start arresting these people. So I'm interested in seeing how this plays out. I'm very interested because I don't know how this is going to go. I really don't. But I'm interested. So we shall see. But you guys get down in the comments and let me know. I don't think, I really don't think the big fish are going to get fried. I think they might, get little fish, but it's such a rabbit hole. I doubt if they get to arrest the people that they need to arrest, like Hillary Clinton, like Bill Clinton, like Barack Obama, like Michelle, and Susan Rice and them. Okay. And definitely Comey and his daughter. 2 for 1. You guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think. All right. Let me go ahead to the super chats before I move on to our main topic. $5 super chat from Marquavius. Thank you. I appreciate you. About to drive home. Time me. Child, when was this? 6:26. It's 6:48. Thank you for the super chat. Quick fix, $4.99 super chat. Thank you. The Fair Oaks story is like that guy that got released in Arlington. Yes. Like they keep releasing these people. It's disgusting. Like I'm so disgusted. Like half of the time I'm just sitting here like, why do these people get released on the street? Meanwhile, you do the smallest thing, you're in jail. You're locked up. You have all these charges. You can't get expunged. Yeah. But in Virginia don't play. But yet they're soft on crime when it comes to these illegal migrants. I'm telling you, liberals have messed up the United States of America, especially the DMV area. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Kelly Corinne, $1.99 super chat. Thank you, hon. Larry Sinclair. If you know, you know. Ma'am, you know I know. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into our main topic. And that is Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is somebody I despise, okay? He got a sweeping pardon, meaning he got a pardon all the way back to 2014. I wonder why. But because it seems like to me, ever since this pardon, he's become more, emboldened, okay? I think he's back on the pipe, if you ask me, all right? But I don't like him, not just because he's, part of the Biden crime family. I'm about to say crab family. Same difference. not just because he's a part of that family, but I don't like him because of the type of person he is. Now, if you don't know, Hunter Biden slept with his brother's wife, his brother that died of cancer, his brother that served in the military. Yeah. Yeah, he was with his brother's wife. The man has no integrity, like none. Okay. People can say, oh, he was on the drugs. I don't care. I don't care. That has nothing to do with anything. Nothing. And that wife is just as despicable. All right. However, that's one of the main reasons I don't like him. 2, of course, he's a liar. Okay. 3, the mainstream media protected this man and that laptop when it had women and girls who were underage on that laptop, as well as more of his drug paraphernalia. Okay. And just all of the nasty, perverted things he was doing on that laptop. For him now to be out and about and feeling like, okay, well, it's fine. I can go ahead and keep talking about what I want to talk about now because I have a pardon. Like it's sick. It's nasty. It's nasty. But we're going to get into what he had to say on this podcast because he had a lot to say. Okay. And when I say a lot, I do mean a lot. Okay. Now, one of the ones that went viral, one of the pieces from this podcast that went viral was Hunter Biden talking about a lot of the Democrats who turned on his father. All right. Everybody knew what Joe Biden was. Everybody knew Joe Biden was old. Everybody knew Joe Biden was, I guess, some transition president for the Democrats. Okay. However, Joe Biden did all the work. Kamala ain't do nothing. Kamala didn't do one thing. So since she didn't do one thing, Joe Biden was like, I'm going to ride this out. And that caused some strife in the Democratic Party because they wanted to do what they normally do, what they did against Trump, and they do against their own. They stage a coup, okay? And that's what they did with Joe Biden. They literally removed him, ignored the democratic process, and put in Kamala, who nobody wanted. However, here is Hunter Biden giving his 2 cents on George Clooney, the Democrats, and others. Here we go.
Opinions, but fuck him. Fuck him and everybody around him. I don't have to be fucking nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. Fucking George Clooney is not a fucking actor. He is a fucking, I don't know what he is. He's a brand. And by the way, and God bless him. You know what? He supposedly treats his friends really well. You know what I mean? Buys them things. And he's got a really great place in Lake Como. And he's great friends with Barack Obama. Fuck you. What do you have to do with fucking anything? Why do I have to fucking listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his fucking life to the service of this country and decide that you, George Clooney, are going to take out basically a full-page ad in the fucking New York Times on me and James Carville, who hasn't run a race in 40 fucking years, and David Axelrod, who had one success in his political life, and that was Barack Obama. And that was because of Barack Obama, not because of fucking David Axelrod.
Sure.
And David Plouffe and all of these guys, and the Pod Save America guys, who were junior fucking speechwriters on Barack Obama's Senate staff, who have been dining out on the relationship with him for years, making millions of dollars. The Anita Dunns of the world, who's made $40, $50 million off the Democratic Party. They're all going to insert their judgment over a man who has figured out, unlike anybody else, how to get elected to the United States Senate over 7 times, how to pass more legislation than any president in history, how to have a better midterm election than anybody in history, and how to garner more votes than any president that has ever run. And they're going to replace their judgment for his. Not to mention, who's Jake Tapper's audience? Jake Tapper,
My mom or something. I don't know.
well, I don't know.
Yeah.
For real though, I don't even think it's your mom anymore.
No, no,
because
no.
By the
Not
the
your mom.
numbers, what influence does Jake Tapper have over anything? He has the smallest audience on cable news, and beyond that, I think that the book is right now on Amazon that he put out. I mean, his ratings just went to shit after he put the book out. You know, they did a 2-week infomercial for it. I mean, it was such a money grab, such a disservice to everybody that he serves with. That the journal.
Child. Now, as much as I don't like Hunter Biden, he dragged the entire Democrat establishment from the politicians to the advisors to the media. He dragged them for filth. Okay. And as he should, because they're all in their little corrupt box together, and then they just turn on him. They just turn on Joe Biden. They turn on old Sleepy Joe. Okay. So I understand the frustration, because your dad, who, let's be clear, has absolutely done nothing, and you can't tell me that that election was not rigged, because you're going to tell me that Sleepy Joe got more votes than Barack Obama, the quote unquote first black president. Please. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. His dad is literally Weekend at Bernie's. Okay. The only thing he's missing is sunglasses. It would have been more believable if they would have did that. Hunter Biden, yeah, he really do think he Tupac. Hey, if if Smollett can be the gay Tupac, he could be the white Tupac. They all think they gangster. You know, when they got protection. Jussie Smollett, though he had protection, and Hunter Biden knows he has it with those pardons. So he's talking real tough. Real tough. Okay? He's talking hard in the paint. That is funny. Now, he talked about Pod Save America. And those boys, I don't even watch. Okay? Because I don't watch the liberal funny boys, right? They too soy for me. They be crying and all this other stuff, you know, strolling to the polls, begging. I can't do it. However, they decided to clap back. I was like, oh, everybody getting up on their own today. And so they heard what Hunter Biden had to say, and they decided to clap back. Here are the Pod Save America boys. Here we go.
But mostly it is 3 hours of Hunter playing the victim, and he like rages at us and he rages at Axelrod and Clooney. But the problem was the voters.
I know.
And they never
That's what I
addressed
wanted
that.
to say.
The voters thought Joe Biden was too old. And when it comes to the attacks on Hunter himself, like, okay, what if we just stipulate for the hypothetical, like, yes, okay, all your business dealings were above board and legal. All your paintings were purchased by art lovers who loved the product and didn't know your name. Trump is worse. You were on the board of Burisma because of who your dad is. And that is what people hate about Washington. And
no, he was on the board of Burisma because his family is the crime family. Okay. And they were making deals with Russia, and Ukraine. That's why. And no, his business dealings were not above board. Did you not read the laptop? Of course not, because liberal soul boys never do their research, and neither do the women. They just overlook everything. Go figure.
it was part of the problem. And like, there's some other weird shit. Like he said, he blames the debate on the Biden staff, saying they gave him Ambien on his foreign trip. But like, Biden got back from the G7 on June 14th. The debate was June 27th.
A lot of fucking Ambien.
If Ambien was the issue, like, I don't think it's Ambien, it's age.
Also,
right?
it's like he was tired, so they gave him Ambien.
Also, like, just like, allow me to rant one more second. Like, his big beef is that Republicans stick together and Democrats are united. But he's obsessed with this show, obsessed with George Clooney. They don't talk about Gaza until 2 hours and 50 minutes into the interview. I'm guessing that was the bigger threat to party unity than a George Clooney op-ed. You know what I mean? It's just this sense of entitlement that, like, from Biden, from his family, from the inner circle, that he was like owed the presidency, owed a second term. It's just very fucking grating.
The whole premise of 2024 was, yes, voters are saying that Joe Biden's age is his biggest liability. But don't worry, because Joe Biden's the closer. And when you see him campaign, he's going to put those worries to rest. He had a good State of the Union, and then he had the worst debate any of us had ever seen, and it became insurmountable. And so at long last,
And
he
he didn't put the concerns to rest. He put his campaign to rest.
Right. And at long last, the Democratic establishment decided to listen to the voters. And it was very hard to get the establishment to do that, but ultimately they did that. And everybody kind of collectively ultimately were able to get Joe Biden to step aside and do the right thing for the country. Now,
he's an absolute liar. Nobody was asking Joe Biden to step aside. All of these people were saying he was fine. He was fine. He was fine. You know, they were doing the Ratchet Crockett. Jasmine Crockett's up there. His mental acuity is fine. He's fine. He's fine. All of these people were saying he was fine. Nancy Pelosi, he's fine. Everybody, he's fine. You know, Maxine Waters, aka Big Wig, he's fine. None of these people were calling for him to step down until after they seen Mr. Ambient slur. Okay. And for the life of me, I can't stand to hear liberal men curse. Okay. When they say the F word and they drop F-bombs, it sounds so. Where Molly at? Put it in the chat, Molly. It sounds that way. That's what it sounds like. Okay. It just sounds that way. It doesn't sound hard at all. You guys don't sound masculine at all. You sound extra sassy, extra sweet, extra sauce for nothing. Okay? Just a mess. Just an absolute mess. Okay? Anyway, that was their clapback, okay? Like a bunch of girls just sitting there going back and forth. Anywho, so I want to get into Mr. Hunter Biden and the rest of his interview talking about immigration. Here's a clip of Hunter Biden talking about immigration. He just looks like he stink. He just looks like he's sweating right now. Crack is whack. It really is. Here we go.
For someone, and might be like all these Democrats say, you have to talk about and realize that people are really upset about illegal immigration. Fuck you. How do you think your hotel room gets cleaned? How do you think you got food on your fucking table? Who do you think washes your dishes? Who do you think does your fucking garden? Who do you think is here by the fucking sheer fucking just grit and will that they figured out a way to get here because they thought that they could give themselves and their family a better chance. And he's somehow convinced all of us that these people are the fucking criminals? Well, for someone, and might be like all these Democrats.
How many times is he going to say the F word? Like, how many times? You don't sound any harder. All of these men are like this on the left. Like, they have to use that word to give them a boost of testosterone. Okay? I don't get it. I don't get it. However, he sounds just like the rest of the Democrats who sound like they want to bring back slavery. That's what they sound like. They want to bring back, oh, who's going to clean your toilets? How about you clean your own toilet? Or how about you give Americans jobs to do housekeeping? There's nothing wrong with housekeeping jobs. There's nothing wrong with jobs to be made. I've seen tons of businesses thrive. Okay. But when you are the rich elite and you're a crime boss family, you know, get the colors to do it. Get the Latinos, get the hombres, get the homes, get them to do it. Okay. Get Mamacita to do it because they're not doing it. That's how they act. That's how they act. Okay. And I would hate to see the maid that has to clean up after one of Hunter Biden's binges, child. Okay. You clean up all type of spit, blood, and anywho, that was his take on illegal immigration on this podcast. All right. And it just gets worse from there because You see that face? You already know he's a basehead. Okay. You know it. Now he's actually about to explain to you everything about what? Crack cocaine. You can't make it up.
No. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, because they think cocaine, Scarface, very cool. Crack cocaine, they think The Wire.
oh, in that sense, oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Like they don't know how
absolutely. Yeah.
similar the chemical compounds are.
Oh, the only difference between crack cocaine and cocaine is sodium bicarbonate and water and heat. Literally,
That's it?
That's it.
And those things are pretty much free if you go to like a science store.
This is free. You can go to your neighborhood convenience store and just get. Anyway, I don't want to tell people how to make crack cocaine, but it literally is a mayonnaise jar of cocaine and baking soda.
How different is the experience?
Oh, it's vastly, vastly different. And like for real, I feel really reluctant to kind of have some euphoric discussion. I know you're not asking me to do that, but have some euphoric discussion about crack cocaine.
I think this might be kind of the opposite here.
Okay, no, it's the exact opposite. I'm saying I don't want to have the experience of some euphoric recall. That's how powerful crack cocaine is. Does crack cocaine make you act any differently? No. Is it safer than alcohol? Probably. People think of crack as being dirty. It's the exact opposite. When you make crack, what you're doing is you're burning off all the impurities so that it can bind with the sodium bicarbonate, which makes it smokable. That's all. You know, all of these actors and, you know, people in the past that talked about they had a problem with cocaine and freebasing. They were smoking crack.
So straw on the stove is the same thing.
Not exactly, but close to it. But it's a little bit different. But anyway.
That man a crackhead. That man is a crackhead. Okay. He like getting high because he said that's it right there. That's it right there. He had joy. He sat back and he crossed his legs to talk about crack cocaine. Like, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. That man was excited to talk about this stuff. Like, what in the he was talking about freebasing, this, that, the third. Like, what? I've never in my life. By golly. That is Hunter Biden. Okay. So you can't tell me that that stuff on his laptop is not true. Okay. So now that you know how he really gets down, and now that you know how to make crack, essentially, it didn't stop there. It kept going. Okay. Now we're going to get into his tidbit about his laptop, because Hunter Biden seems to think that the public doesn't understand that that laptop was real. He was so high, he didn't realize where he left that laptop. Okay. He didn't realize it. That laptop was left at a shop, a regular shop. And they went through it. And when I tell you, they extracted everything from that because it was connected to his cloud. Like, it's just, oh my God, stupid. However, here is Hunter Biden saying, y'all don't know nothing. Here you go.
Not one single person has ever accused me of a crime based upon anything that was in or discovered as it relates to my laptop. Not one. Not a single thing about my laptop. So this whole idea that there was some conspiracy to cover up the laptop, they uncovered 20 years unvarnished of every single communication that I've ever had over a phone or by text or over email or computer in any digital way. There's not one communication that you can even remotely say is evidence of a crime. Not one.
Hunter Biden's former business associates were hinting at a push to get Joe involved in a joint venture with Chinese energy company CEFC.
This is allegedly Hunter. I can make $5 million in salary from any law firm in America. If you think it's about money, it's not. The Bidens are the best at doing exactly what Chairman wants from this partnership. Please, let's not quibble over peanuts.
Not one single person has ever accused me of a crime based upon anything that was in or discovered as it relates to my laptop.
And that's because the Biden crime family has been covered. And he's even covered now because of his pardon. But I'm telling you right now, as soon as Trump finds a way to bring up this auto pen situation, all that's going to be wiped away. I swear to goodness. I cannot wait, because that man is disgusting. What was on that laptop was absolutely disgusting. And back then, if you shared it or you mentioned anything on Twitter about it, you got blocked. You got banned from the internet damn near. Like, you couldn't say anything about it. Mark Zuckerberg literally went to the United States Congress and said that Joe and Kamala were blocking it. They asked all of these platforms to block it. But one journalist, okay, and she's a liberal, but she did her job. One journalist did her job too well. She verified everything that was on that laptop, and it cost her. I want you guys to see this story here. Here we go.
We eventually broadcast a story about the Hunter Biden laptop after the midterm elections in 2022. We commissioned a forensic review. I got a copy of the laptop data. I have it here still. I went to a lot of effort to get the cleanest copy of the laptop data, the same data that was provided to the FBI, because I didn't want to have any professional journalistic risk for CBS News. I wanted this thing to be totally locked down. When we did the story, we did it after the midterms. I argued against that because it was ready before the midterms. And my training is that you should always do the story when it's ready to go. You should not be dictated by the political cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Once we got the laptop story on the morning news, I felt that there was so much there that we could still do. For example, in the text messages, there's unfortunately the use of the N-word, the liberal use of the N-word. And I thought this was worthy of a story, but
The liberal use of the N-word means he said ninja a couple of times, a lot of times, all the time. That doesn't surprise me. Joe Biden is a racist, as I've always known. And so is Hunter Biden, which is why he thinks brown people should be cleaning his toilets. Shocker.
I was told that it was not something that interested CBS News. Then I asked for a forensic review of the laptop, and we found that there were more than half a dozen emails that were likely used by Joe Biden. I thought that was a story, but the answer that came back was, well, we need to know what the content is of the emails. But that was going to be a years-long process. So there was no way. So there were a lot of reasons I was told not to do it, not to pursue it.
Well, yeah, she worked for CBS. She's a liberal, but she did her job. She researched this, and they did forensics on this laptop information and found out and verified by the FBI that this is the actual contents of the laptop. And by golly, they found out that not only is there, pedo corn on there. All right. You had that. You had him and his father using the same emails that are government emails, just like Hillary Clinton, to do their dirty work and to call, people of color the hard ER. So at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. And this reporter took it to CBS where she worked, and they slept on it. They made sure it was buried. That's why when people talk now and say, oh, well, CBS, they're being threatened by Donald Trump. No, Donald Trump knows that they're corrupt. Forget the 60 Minutes, okay? Because that's just one thing. Forget that. They literally buried the story. Their own reporter. This is a award-winning, Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter who broke stories on other things, which is probably why they don't like her. She broke stories on the Fast and Furious with Barack Obama. And she's a Democrat or a liberal. But she did her investigations, and that's where it led. So that's what she told about. It's wild. But it didn't end there. When she went to tell Congress, it all came out about what happened to her and one of her colleagues, all because they wanted to tell the truth about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Go figure.
This way, you wrote stories critical of the government.
Yes.
Yeah. You factually reported. And then you did on Fast and Furious, you did on Benghazi and other issues.
Yes.
And even before, as you said, on the Bush administration. And then strange things started happening to you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like your computer, you think your phone gets bugged, you believe, and things happen to your computer after you wrote stories critical of the government.
Right.
That's scary, right?
Yeah, it's not a
frightening
comfortable
everybody.
feeling, right?
Miss Harriet, you wrote stories critical of the Biden administration. Is that true?
That's fair.
I mean, you wrote a number of things about the laptop issue, about Hunter Biden, all kinds of things. You wrote critical of the Biden family, the Biden business operation, the Biden brand, and all that stuff.
Congressman, I reported out the facts of the story.
You sure did.
I
You
called
sure
balls and
did. You reported the facts. And then CBS fired you. Is that right?
My position was terminated.
Yeah. And you're an award-winning journalist. How long did you work at CBS?
I worked at CBS News for 4.5 years. During that period, we won major awards. I was part of an Emmy-winning team. I was nominated for investigative Emmys. I think the most important projects were projects that drove legislation here on the Hill that positively impacted 1 million veterans.
So award-winning journalist, won all kinds of awards, had worked there almost 5 years, had extensive experience at a different major network prior to that, where you were also an award-winning journalist, done all kinds of reporting critical of the government there as well, and then you get fired. But it's worse than that, isn't it? Because they didn't just fire you. What else did they do?
On February 13th, when I was told on a Zoom call that my employment was terminated, I was locked out of my emails and I was locked out of the office. CBS News seized hundreds of pages of my reporting files, including confidential source information.
And that's not normal, is it?
No, that's not my experience in the other two networks that I've worked at or with my colleagues at CBS News. When the network of Walter Cronkite seizes your reporting files, including confidential source information, that is an attack on investigative journalism.
Yes, it sure is. So I'm just trying to, it seems to me there's a pattern developing here.
This is the exact reason why I don't talk to any liberal trying to tell me that Donald Trump is trying to be authoritarian over media. He wants to control media. Media is out of control. Okay? At this point, it's already state run. It's already state run. All the outlets are mostly liberal. They all are controlled. So when you look at this, it's like, how are you supposed to get the information? Okay, they're firing journalists. Now, mind you, had this happened with Donald Trump, it would have been, oh my God, he's getting journalists fired. Literally, Sleepy Joe got somebody fired. They fired this woman because she investigated that laptop. She got the forensics on that laptop. She got the information from the FBI on that laptop. So when Hunter Biden sat there on that podcast just now and said, oh, well, I don't know what they're talking about. There's never been anything to suggest that I did anything criminal. That's not what the FBI said. And that's not what that reporter found. And that's her testifying in Congress because she lost her employment and she lost all of her documents. So when you're a reporter and you have sources, you have documentation, they took all of it. CBS did. It's wild. Like, it's wild. I've never seen this. I've never seen any of that. So at the end of the day, Hunter Biden can sit there, and talk about the cracksation of it all. All right. But at the end of the day, Hunter Biden is a crook and a pedo and everything else that's allegedly on that laptop is on there. However, his dad is also the same. His dad has done multiple things behind the scenes to multiple politicians, and even in present time, he was in with it all to try to get Donald Trump to not be president. The last time and this time during the 2024 election. Like, you can't make any of this stuff up. And he's sitting, and his son is sitting on there on this podcast as if he didn't do anything at all. As if it's water on the bridge. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't have nothing on that laptop. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if the crack is frying his brain or what. Okay, or the pardon then went to his brain. The pardon has just got him on a high, literally, because he just thinks he can say and do whatever he wants. I'm telling you, I hope Donald Trump brings the hammer down on all of them. That's Barack Obama. That's Hillary Clinton. I want Hillary to go first. But that's Barack Obama. That's Hillary Clinton. That's Joe Biden. That's Hunter Biden. That's all of them. Jill, all of them. Susan Rice, everybody. Round them all up. Take them to get Mo. Barack Obama should have closed it a long time ago. Take them to get Mo. Get rid of them. Because at the end of the day, they all are crooks. Everything that Democrats always complain about, they do. They're complaining about gerrymandering right now. They do it all the time. They steal districts all the time. They rig districts all the time. They rig elections all the time. They have fraud all the time. Ag Blue. Okay, U.S. aid. This is the Democrats. But yet, anybody goes against the narrative, you are a fascist. You are this. You are that. You are racist. You are whatever. Call me whatever you want. I don't deal with the liberals. I can't do it. I can't be in a delusional state. Okay? I don't buy the propaganda. And it's just that. And the facts are the facts. Ezreal crack is whack. Oh my God. What's going on, God Flavor? Yeah, chat, y'all got it. Y'all absolutely correct. Everything. Y'all absolutely have it. Because it's just a big mess. But I do think that Donald Trump is gearing up for something big. I just need him to go ahead and just do it. Just do it. Because the media is just going to run with everything. They're going to run with it. And they're going to make it seem as though everything that the Democrats are saying is facts. They're talking about this Epstein thing as if it's Donald Trump Donald Trump used to hang with Jeffrey Epstein. And now all of a sudden, 89-year-old women are coming out. Like, ma'am, where were you all these years? Please. Please. Oh, he called me in his room. Yeah, at 9 o'clock at night, you thought you were having an audition. Ma'am, please, 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 please. Somebody assaults you and then you go to his house afterwards. So you get assaulted and then he invites you to his house and you go to that too. Like, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. But anything to smear Donald Trump, anything so they can deflect. You saw CNN, China News Network do it. You see Hunter Biden here doing it, and they're going to continue doing it until they're all in a dungeon somewhere. And I can't wait. I can't wait. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you thought about everything today. What you think about Barack Obama and Obamagate? What you think about Hunter Biden talking about how you make cocaine, make crack, talking about his laptop, talking about he hasn't done anything criminal, talking about there's nothing on him, talking about George Clooney in the gang, talking about journalists, talking about Donald Trump. I mean, just being irate and disgusting. Talking about even his own party. Okay, turning against his father. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you guys think about Hillary being on The View and spewing the same nonsense, and The View being part of everything that's wrong with the Democratic Party since forever. Okay. The View is just a bunch of golden girls that never get it right. Never. I don't even know what to call that show. It's not politics. I don't know what to call it. Old hags talking, I guess. Let me also know what you think about the Redskins the Commanders going back to the Redskins name. Let me know what you think about that. Okay. And let me know what you think about the illegal migrants stealing children from the mall, shooting ICE agents on their off time, just being here in general still. Okay. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about it all. Right, Molly. That's exactly right. Yep. I see you, Amanda. Yeah. All of it's nonsense, you guys. All of it's nonsense. But at the end of the day, this is what we have to deal with. So I just thought I would bring you the facts and the truth to the live stream, because a lot of people are talking about Hunter Biden, but they're not talking about the stuff behind it. Okay. They're not going to talk about the stuff behind it because they don't want to get that deep. They don't want to get that involved. But Hunter Biden, to me, is a crackhead, and he always will be. And he's trash, and so is his daddy, and so is the rest of his family, which is why all of them have a pardon. So those are my thoughts. Thank you for pulling up to the live stream today. I appreciate every last one of you. Thank you all for the super chats and the cash apps. Thank you all for the likes and the comments. Thank you for your participation in the chat, keeping the chat going. Azrael, that's right. Crackhead number 1. Artifacts, thank you for pulling up. Your card, thank you always for moderating. Thank you, Molly, for moderating today. And get you some sleep before after hours, girl. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Spaces, aka Sapase. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Super Tim. Thank you, Loud and Clear. Thank you, I Am the Original Snow Bunny Chaser. Thank you. Thank you, Quick Fix. Thank you, Macravius. Thank you, J Mont. Thank you, Jay the Legend. Thank you, KRWN. Is it KRWN or is it Crown? I don't know. Let me know. Hold on. Let me read this last super chat. Hey, thank you. It's from my homie Slimmy, 1999 super chat. Keep cooking up, homie. Brock is sassy. Hunter is a junkie. No questions asked. Laugh my off. Thank you, Slimmy. I appreciate it. Not that flag, though. Thank you all for the super chats. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Quick Fix, Marquavius. Thank you, Slimmy. Thank you, Ian. I appreciated it. Ian says, $5 super chat. Hunter is trying to bring back the 80s crack. I thought that was over back in the 80s. Nah, he talking about Scarface. Crush, crush, give me a yo. That's what Hunter Biden's doing. It's a sad day. Thank you so much, Ian. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Thank you, Simeon. Thank you, Azrael. Thank you. Thank you to Shadow Dragon. Thank you, Got Flavor. I appreciate you. Thank you, Artifacts. Thank you to, hold on, Wars Peace. Thank you, Naswan Jones. Thank you, Katrina, for pulling up. Thank you, Amber. Thank you. Let's see, Andrena. Thank you to, who else we got in here? Ooh, we got a lot of people that came up here. Thank you to Wade on the World. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you to Mike That Dude. Thank you to Trace. Thank you to Nalon or Nelon. I appreciate it. Thank you to Lucius. Who else? Scoop. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Sugar Shane. Thank you, Hybrid HD. Ooh. I think I got a lot of you guys. I think I did. Yep, I think I got a lot of you guys. So at the end of the day, stay safe. Crack is whack. Stay away from Hunter Biden. Stay away from Joe Biden. I appreciate you guys for pulling up. It's your girl Mika, and I'm out. Peace.